And we're
Okay.
live.
Hi.
Hi.
So do you want to introduce us in order?
Sure. Sure, yeah. I'm Anisa.
I'm Paroma, and we are missing one leg of our tripod. Um, and welcome to our weekly stream where we talk about whatever drama related we want to. In the past couple of lives, we've been covering dramas alphabetically from the year 2014, and that was a lot of fun. And we'll continue to do that. We're just at where are we? We're at G, I think.
I think we're just like finished G and we're about to start H, I think. Something like that. So, as you know,
Hila.
yeah, so we couldn't do that without Saya. She would rebel. So,
Yeah, she would, she would. So instead, we decided we're gonna do a more currently airing thing where we just talk about stuff we are watching right now that are also airing. and I figured we could start talking about a drama that both of us are watching and we have opposing feelings about, and that's what is it called? Love Next Door.
Love Next Door, yes. You hate it so much that you've decided to
I honestly, I'm still trying to watch it. It's not like I am giving it up. It's so frustrating to me because I love Jung So Min and Jung Hae In, and I've been looking forward to this drama so much. It's listen. I was listening to the two of you talk in last week's podcast episode. You and Saya were talking about Love Next Door, and by the way, you spoke about all of its strengths, and I cannot deny any of the things you said. And you made it sound like a much better drama than it is in my experience.
Honestly, like even as I was listening to the thing is like it's a solid rom-com and it's exactly what I feel like watching right now. It's not like high art. It's not great, but it's fine. It's fine. It's enjoyable. But I do want to hear like why you're so angry. Like why you dislike it so much. Oh, am I frozen or are you frozen? Pharma? Not sure what's going on. Don't know what's happening. Borma is currently frozen for me. Hmm. Oh, we lost Borma. Maybe she's having some connectivity issues, but she'll be back. Um, while she's gone, I'm just gonna like introduce the premise of the show. So basically, Love Like Store is about these two friends who have been kind of besties since childhood, and it stars Jung So Min and Jung Han. She comes back after living this fabulous life in the US, being a software developer at a company called Grape, which is like basically an analog for Apple. She's back. Hello,
I
welcome
got.
back. I started introducing the premise of the drama because you just like froze and then disappeared.
Yeah, no, so everything froze on my screen. Yeah, anyway, I got kicked out because of slow internet,
Oh,
which is
sad.
rubbish. But at least I have two different Wi-Fi, so I could switch. Uh,
All right. So I was just explaining the premise. Should I continue?
Continue,
All
please.
right. Yeah. So she works for Grape, and she has a great job. Everybody back home is really proud of her. She's like super high achieving. She's also engaged to this like hotshot international lawyer. But a few weeks before the wedding, she comes back home to Korea, quits her job, breaks off her engagement, and she reunites with like her family. Comes back to her old neighborhood. Also reunites with her childhood friend, played by Jung Han, who is like this hotshot fancy architect who's like just starting his own firm, also in their neighborhood. Um, And she kind of like comes back to her old life, and she's having this little like Dr. Slump-esque sort of crisis of, who am I? What am I going to do next? What have all these years of hard work been for? Parental disappointment, romantic disappointment, all of that stuff. And it's just a
Yeah.
love story between these two friends who are seeing each other after a long time.
Yeah,
And
that is pretty much it. But I would say that it's not just Dr. Slump-ish. It follows like almost all of the beats of Dr. Slump, all of the larger beats of Dr. Slump, especially in the first half. The issue is, whereas Dr. Slump does like this seamless blending of plot points and foreshadows things, has them build up, concludes in like these mini arcs. Love Next Door picks up something, brings it forward, gives us a resolution, and immediately drops it. Picks up something, brings it forward, gives it a resolution, immediately drops it. You never see it come up again. It's the worst kind of
how many
draw
episodes have
by
you watched so
dots.
far? How many episodes have you watched so far?
5, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, I've seen 6.
It's not like I just made up my mind on the first couple. I did not like the first couple of episodes. I could predict every dialogue, every scene, every emotion that the characters were going to express. But I was like, fine, first couple of episodes are sometimes a bit knobby, so we'll just keep watching because this is Jung and I don't want to give it up. I want to keep watching. Because they can make the stupidest dialogue come alive. And Jung Hae-in is adorable here, as he always is. Jung So-min she just makes everything better. I love these two actors so much. I'll watch them brush their teeth.
I do want to like not defend, but I do want to say one thing about the stupid dialogue. One thing I did notice is like there's a lot of wordplay in this drama, and it's like wordplay that is basically untranslatable. And so like I find there's a lot of moments where they're doing like some fun wordplay, and the subtitles just, I don't know. I think like because it's really hard to translate that wordplay into English, a lot of times they just take it to like the most basic dialogue that would fit in that moment. And so like I do feel like there's some lost in translation in the dialogue. Like it's more fun and interesting than you would think from subtitles sometimes.
So let me counter your defense and say that yes, you're right. I can tell that like there is interesting wordplay going on, and for people who don't mind the predictability of how they have written the scenes, that is interesting. But let me give you an example. I think like to sort of illustrate my point about like the reason I'm so mad at the writing of this drama. There is this really great scene of confrontation between mother and daughter, I think in episode 2. It's actually really well written. Like it crescendos really natural. You knew it was coming. It was very obvious with everything that was happening. Like you knew that crescendo was coming. So yes, still predictable, but the actual confrontation was really well written. So Jung So-min's character, by the way, her name is so difficult for me to pronounce. Big Sokru, right?
Bae Suk-yu. Also, it's really confusing because her name is Suk-yu and his name is Sung-hyo, and it's like they're close enough that it's like kind of confusing, especially when people say it fast. Sometimes I'm like, wait, who? But go on.
But honestly, I thought that was like a feature, not a bug. I like that their names are similar. That's the kind of thing that seems to happen with like children or friends. Like they have similar sounding names. So that at least I thought was like intentionally funny. So Jang So-min's character has this confrontation with her mom where she's like, you turned my room into a storage room. Did you never want me to come back? Why can't you just love me as your daughter? Why do I have to, live out your failed dreams and stuff? Really poignant, great outburst. She rushes out of the house, and Jung Hae-in happens to be right outside. He lives in the neighborhood. He overhears this shouting match, obviously, and she rushes past him. And then she goes to this playground where she's just crying to herself. She's like recovering from a horrible shout down with her mom. Obviously, it's a very emotional thing she's recovering from. Jung Hae-in comes in and she stops crying. And so Jung Hae like sits with her, like some time passes, they get on a jungle gym, and she's joking, and she's clearly forcing herself to laugh. And after a while, he's like, you know, if you feel like crying, you can just cry. Don't force yourself to joke around. And this is a quote, this is a scene that's like being clipped and spread around the internet, and people going, oh my God, that is so romantic, so quotable. And I am thinking the entire time that, buddy, if you hadn't followed her to the playground, she was crying. She was trying to recover from that. The entire reason they put him in that scene at all was, it was like, the writer was like, we gave too many scenes to her family. We haven't given enough scenes to Jung Hae and Jang So Min together. We need to put him into a scene quickly, so let's put him in this scene where he'll go and be her emotional support. She was crying. It's because you came in that she had to put her public face on. There is no logic to this shit. It's just... Also, by the way, after that one outburst, mom's personality changes drastically overnight. She becomes a complete... The woman who was using her daughter's bedroom as a storage space, presumably because she was like, my daughter's in the US, she'll never come back. She won't even visit, apparently. She's not allowed to visit. If she visits, she just sleeps on the sofa. This woman overnight commissions Jung Hae to like completely redo her bedroom so that it looks exactly like her childhood bedroom, and is like the peppiest, happiest, cheeriest person from the next morning. It's bizarre. There is no logic to anything that happens in these characters. The only like string connecting their actions is like the predictable push of where like 1,000 K-dramas have gone before, and you know where emotionally they are supposed to go, so the drama is following the narrative arc of those, you know, the steps that have been trod by other dramas before. That's literally it. I can tell you exactly what will happen the moment...
Yeah.
Sorry,
You know,
go on.
yeah, I mean, did you get your... You're good? You got it out? Okay. I think, like, for me, I am a rom-com girly at heart. So, like, I've watched so many rom-coms where, like, I know what's going to happen from the setup. And, like, for me, like, I'm just not, it's not that deep. Like, I'm not thinking about it that deeply. For me, it's not. And I enjoy a drama where I can, like, really turn my brain on and, like, you know, just be intellectually stimulated. This is not that drama,
Anisa,
and I'm okay with it.
No, hold on. I object to this so much. This is not about being intellectually stimulated. I don't turn on rom-coms to be intellectually stimulated, but I do want my rom-coms to be well written. No Gain, No Love is well written. It's intelligent while being stupid as heck. There is literally...
I just don't think it's that bad. I just really don't think it's as bad as you're
that's
making out to
fine.
be.
That's fine. That's like, you are okay, but Anisa, between you and me, I have read and watched more rom-coms. I can promise you, there was a 10-year phase where my consumption of rom-coms would have defeated, like, I don't know, people doing it for a living. I promise you, I have watched and read more rom-coms. And there is a type of writing... I'm okay with stupid. I'm okay with like silly. I'm okay with all of those things. But I am not okay with the kind of budget these people have. You can see the budget in the cinematography. And by the way, even the cinematography is super stock, but whatever. You can see in the color grading, you can see in the cast that they have hired that this project had a lot of money behind it. Mm-hmm. They have no excuse to write like this. This should have been smart writing. I mean, Dr. Slump... By the way, Dr. Slump was basically shot in the same area, had a very similar vibe. It was written in a much more smart way.
Yeah.
I mean, there were issues with that drama too. Like the chemistry was sometimes worked, sometimes didn't work. They had like... But the thing is, at a certain price point, you expect better quality of writing. I am fine with like dreaming of a fairy tale being like just complete schlock. I'm fine with that. And I will cringe, but I will still keep watching because it's entertaining. But even that was better written than, like, there was a follow through. The characters made sense. The motivations wasn't predictable as hell. There was consistency for every character. But, like, what is going on over here? These people are archetypes who are saying and doing things that Okay, I'm gonna just calm down now. This drama's not worth getting this mad at.
Yeah, I'm just very like amazed at how worked up you're getting over this. Because I'm just surprised. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's enjoyable. I think it has a really amazing cast. The cast
That's the
are
one thing.
crazy.
Amazing cast.
And
completely.
they're just like bringing it. So whether the dialogue is dumb or not, like they're bringing it, you know, they're bringing it. Jung So-min and Jung Han have great chemistry. I love them together. I don't know, like so far their dynamic works for me. I might start getting annoyed if we get to like episode 10 and they're still doing this. We have to be gruff and tough because we can't actually admit that we care about each other thing. Like,
yeah, no, but I think
I think there's like a
that
limit
aspect
to
is
that.
fine.
But it's working for me right
that'll
now.
change.
It's working for me. It makes sense. Like, I think their dynamic makes sense. I don't
Yeah.
think I find the characters quite as nonsensical as you do. I think, yeah,
I
they're
don't think
tropey.
the characters
but
are
it's fine.
nonsensical. I'm saying that the characters are underwritten to the point where I can tell you what they're going to do next just as soon as an episode starts. I can tell you what happens in the rest of the episode. It shouldn't be this level of predictable. That shows a sort of laziness of writing and also production, by the way. There is like when Jang So-min's character is being introduced and they are like, well, you know, she's giving like presentations in English in the US, and the way they show that is by, you know, doing like these montage where at one point her volume comes up and she's like, right now. And yeah, I understand. Jang So-min is not going to be so fluent in English that they would want her to, you know, do an entire, you know, presentation or even a full sentence. They are just trying to go for the impact. Understandable. There are better ways to do this. You do have Jang So-min speaking in like full paragraphs of English at a later point. They could have had her do like a simple sentence that had actual impact instead of being like right now, as if you're trying to make somebody buy something through a television screen.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the
problems.
English language stuff and the stuff that's said in the US, like I never have very high expectations for that because it's always cringy. Like that whole part where they have her like former coworkers come over, like spoiler alert, I guess this happens a little later, but she has some interactions with some of her former coworkers, and there's this guy who's like supposed to be a gyopo, like he's supposed to be a Korean American. It's not believable at all. Like it's so cringy. But I mean, I don't really expect better from K-dramas because they're always going to be, you know, doing it from I do wish they had hired a native English speaker for that just for like immersion purposes, but it's very much like, you know, we got to discipline the diaspora kid, you know, he needs to be brought back into the Korean fold, like that kind of pro-nationalist type of thing. It's like it is what it is. It's like it's not something unexpected. That was like whatever. This is like very K-drama. So
we are used to all of those elements. See, I have no problem with like the disparate points of any part of the story, but what I have an issue with is how they have been written in. It's like they have a checklist of things that they wanted. Yeah, exactly. We have Stepmaster commenting that they have high expectations from a K-drama. So do I. Writing is one of the primary things that I always hype up.
Maybe why I don't have such high expectations is because this is the same writer that did Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. So I have like very low expectations of that writer because I did not like that drama. I dropped it after like 4 or 5 episodes because it made me so angry. So maybe I'm like, oh, well, Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha writer, this is actually better than I was expecting.
Yeah, she's not bombing as badly.
Yeah,
I'm
like non-toxic dynamic between the male and female lead. That's enough for me. Like,
yeah. So let's talk about the strengths. Since I've talked about the weaknesses so much, I actually really enjoy their like, you know, the whole childhood rivalry thing. Like just that gruff thing that a lot of people are saying is like, oh, sibling vibes. I think it actually lends more credibility to them being childhood friends, and the two of them are genuinely bringing it performance-wise, no matter what material they've been given. So that was fine. But what? Oh, the other thing that I enjoyed a lot was like with the secondary couple. it hasn't actually gone anywhere yet, but I think the writing is somehow better for them, maybe because their dynamic is not as predictable and well trodden. And with K dramas, you often have this aspect of like secondary characters getting more interesting writing simply because the writer doesn't have to follow a formula. I don't know. I mean, they're not super interesting, but you can see that the writing is trying something with them, which I found was interesting.
Yeah, I see Egat's knows how it feels. She's also saying my expectations are also not particularly high because of Hometown Cha Cha Cha. I think like what I enjoy about this, compared to other dramas, that this kind of reminds me of, like Welcome to Sumdalry is also one that it reminds me of, because you do have like she comes back after a romantic disappointment, a professional disappointment, to her like old neighborhood, and the guy has been there since whatever. But like I hated the ensemble cast in that drama. Like I really couldn't get on board with them. I also was a bit annoyed by the ensemble cast in Hometown Cha Cha Cha. They just like really felt like caricatures instead of real people. Here, I really like the ensemble. Like I just find the people interesting. I find them, like you have the Jung Haen's parents with the she's a diplomat and the dad is kind of like they have this like quietly miserable marriage. Who have very, and then you have like the moms. So like both of their moms have this like they're in this friend group of like high school friends that they still live in the same neighborhood, and so like I don't know, it's enjoyable. Like I enjoy being in that world. So I'm not like feeling too nitpicky about the details.
I'm clearly feeling nitpicky, but
Yeah.
I did like what you pointed out that it's nice to have like a neighborhood story which is not based in some hometown somewhere, but it's actually in the city, and it's like friends who grew up and became parents in that same neighborhood, and that's fun. That's honestly something we don't see enough. We tend to see them in like smaller stories, or for something like Vincenzo might have it like a different genre, not the rom-com genre usually. You have like the city neighborhood comes together when there is like a crime or something underpinning the story. You tend to have that happen a lot more. What was that drama? Live, laugh, kill, or something?
Laugh. Wait, was it Link?
No.
Something?
Link. Yes, eat, love, something.
Link, yeah, something like that. I can't remember. It was such a strange name.
But again, like the entire neighborhood would come together. That was also around a murder. Is there a murder? Maybe there's a murder. That's too spoilery. I can't tell you.
Yeah. It's okay. There were like creepy vibes from the first episode, so we can.
But
it's not
those
a
are the
spoiler
kind
to
of
see there might be a
dramas.
murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow they have like those city neighborhood things happening, not usually in a rom-com. So I do like the setup. There are a lot of like disparate things I like about this
Yeah, like
drama,
it
which
has
is
some
what's-
great slice of life moments, which I really appreciate. I know you like a good slice of life drama, Paroma. I'm just like shocked at how severe your emotions are about this.
because my expectations from this drama was really high. I wasn't really looking at the writer when I was forming my expectations. I was looking at the cast, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you could do so much with these two. And then they didn't. And okay.
Okay,
I
all right.
am looking forward to finding out more about Jang So-min's backstory. There seems to be some stuff left out. But so far, they, again, like that entire thing of dumbing down a potentially really interesting backstory. Like the stuff about her being bullied in the US, that shouldn't have been comical, but it was the way it was presented, with her colleagues like villainously standing in one corner and telling their entire like shouting out their entire plot. We make her do all our jobs. Mwahaha. She just needs a pat on her head. Mwahaha. What?
But that again, that's just like English speaking actors in K dramas. It hasn't improved that much.
It's not the English speaking that's the problem. It's the way they position the reveal. She's just turning a corner and they're just
In
letting
full
out
view,
all of
yeah,
their villainous
yeah.
plans.
I mean, it is a little broad, but I just don't really mind. Okay, let's talk about the drama that you are enjoying a lot right now. One of them that you're enjoying. Let's transition to No Gain, No Love.
Yes. Shinmina! Oh my God, I have been. What was the last
There we go.
Shinmina drama we watched?
Hometown Cha Cha Cha.
No,
I
not
didn't finish
that.
that. Before that, well, I really loved her in Our Blues. That's probably the most
Oh, that
recent
was the
thing.
last one. That
She was
was, yeah.
great in that. She was
She was
so, I mean,
amazing.
she's always so good.
Agreed.
So I've
Agreed.
only
And
watched half an hour of this episode of this drama. So like, tell me about it. Tell me about what
no,
you like so much.
tell me your first impressions. Otherwise, I'll overwhelm you with mine.
Okay, so I mean, I don't fully know the premise yet because we haven't even really quite gotten to it, but I know it's a contract marriage drama. So far, what we see is like she's attending a wedding of a colleague who is actually also her ex-boyfriend, who actually she finds out at the wedding was also cheating on her with the bride when they were together. So it's just like humiliating and kind of awful. And she's also talking about like how much money she's given people at their weddings, like chugigum, which is like you give a little envelope of money, and it's like really calculated based on like how long you know this person, what kind of relationship you have with them, and then you have to like kind of give all of this money, and then there's a calculation that you'll get that money back at your wedding. Except of course, like life is never that neat. So she's like
Yeah.
resentful of that, especially because it's someone she hates, and she doesn't want to even give him any money, but she has to keep up appearances because they all work together. And yeah, that's kind of like basically where I'm at. I haven't. Oh, and we also got introduced to the male lead, who's like incognito. I think he just like goes to a horrifying job interview and defends the people he's
Yeah.
there with in a really satisfying way against like really harassing and awful interview questions. He seems great. I like him. It's a big
He
age
is
gap.
great.
He's 28 and she's 40, which I was shocked to find out she's 40.
You're-
She hasn't changed in like
Shinmina
10,
does
15
not.
years. Yeah. She
Ah.
looks the same.
She was the same.
But yeah, tell me about it. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what's going
So-
on with it.
Like the fact that I love Shinmina is just that's like a given, a constant that does not require further elaboration. But I am so pleased with Kim Young-dae in this one. They could have gone in many different ways with his character, but instead they went for like this really quiet presence. Like he is also the whole, you know, the angel, the Chongsa. What's the word?
Chunsa?
Chonsa, yeah. Establishing him as an angel. So, okay, I'm sorry.
That always
I'm gonna
reminds
go-
me of Chunsa. Sorry. Random Pakistani reference, but like, Go
no,
on.
listen, I'm gonna briefly segue back to the drama we were talking about previously. You know how there was randomly this scene where Jung Hae-in and our other male lead, I've forgotten his name, they just suddenly start helping this old woman with her
oh, the reporter.
recycling.
Yeah.
Reporter with her recycling in a cart, and they're helping her go for a while. And like this is again a very standard K-drama thing where you show that the leads are good people because they went and helped like this old man or an old woman with her recycling, and it's like it's fine. The reason I was like, because it came out of nowhere. It had nothing to do with anything. They were supposed to meet for an interview, and suddenly they saw this old woman with a cart, and they were helping. It's the nowhereness of the scene. It has nothing to do with nothing. If you took that out of the entire that entire episode, it would change nothing. It didn't. There was no follow up. It's not like this reporter goes on to write some great reveal or something. Like there's no follow through.
There is
Random.
actually going to be a follow-up to that
Oh,
plot.
fair
point.
enough.
I must,
but
if you watch more.
I have completely forgotten about that, and it's been like 4 episodes since then. So if a follow through comes now, it doesn't even matter. It's still out of nowhere. No, but listen. What they do here is something very similar. He's this randomly in every neighborhood he goes into, people are like, even the police are like, oh my god, he's an angel, and it's like they're establishing his character where he just goes around doing good. He's gotten like citizens awards and stuff like that. We're talking about No Gain, No Love now, and this Kim Young-dae's character, and at one point there are like these posters of some wanted criminals or something, and he collects some of those posters, goes to these, these older people who are carrying those recycling, they have those carts, right? So he puts them on the side of the carts and are like, oh, this is a good way of making sure the entire neighborhood sees it. But he's also emphasizing to the old people that if you see somebody who looks like this, run away, hide yourself, like your safety is the most important. And then they, zoom back and you can see like virtual like wings coming out of his back, everybody looking at him like, oh my God, he's such a nice person. The point of the entire scene is to underline his just do-gooderness overall. Like, it doesn't come out of nowhere. Like, there is an actual, he's just not general, everyday K-drama hero who has to also be shown to be kind. The kindness is like a major feature of this guy. Everybody thinks of him as kind. This is important because where Shinmina's character is concerned, she literally refers to him as the devil. Because from their very first meeting, they just do not get along. He works at a convenience store, which it's in her neighborhood. And they have been clashing from the first day. And it's been years at this point that they're clashing. I love it. I love it so much. And it also shows something about Shinmina's character that she will not go to a different convenience store. Like at one point, her roommates / foster sisters are like, why don't you just like go to a different one? And she's like, no, it's a matter of principle.
Because then I will lose. Yeah.
Then I'll lose.
Yeah.
I love.
I haven't gotten there yet, so don't give me like big spoilers. I will say like them hating each other is also like very tropey and predictable.
So tropey, predictable.
Yeah. So,
but you
know
makes
what?
sense.
Like, it's also like the K-dramas are so much on vibes that if you start watching something and you just feel like the vibes are off, sometimes like it doesn't matter what part, even if like there are parts of it that are good, you're just like, no, like this isn't for me. So I get it.
Yeah, but no, Anisa, I promise you, keep watching. You'll see what I mean in terms of smart writing. There is nothing about
I've seen more
character.
than you. Oh, of No Game No Love. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the other one. You're like, keep watching. It's terrible. No, I'm like on board. I'm excited to watch this. I trust you that it's good.
I'm impressed.
This was one of the ones that I was really excited about because Kim Young-dae really shone in Shooting Stars. Like that was kind of, he's been good and he's been funny before, like Extraordinary You, some other roles, but like in Shooting Stars, I was like, oh, this guy actually has like leading man quality, like charisma, acting talent, and so I'm like looking forward to what he's gonna do here. Obviously, we know Shinmina is a queen. Her belovedness is a universal constant. So,
But also, what luck to be paired together with Shinmina. I mean,
he is very lucky. Also, like, I'm really curious to see, because I haven't seen them in the same scene together yet. And when I saw the casting, I was like, I wonder what their chemistry is going to be like. So, but you seem to say, like, you seem to like it. So,
I like it. But also, they build really well. On top of it. So at one point, again, I'm trying my best not to spoil anything, I promise. Even after they have like their fake marriage thing, you expect their dynamic, like you've seen other dramas do this dynamic in a certain way, right? Trying to make it like really business-like, trying to like distance each other. They never have that kind, they do it differently. And it's sweet the way they do it. And you're like, this dynamic makes sense because yes, they've been, headbutting since the day they met, but at the end of the day, neither of them are unkind people. And I like when a drama can get that through without it being like on the nose and like being underlined and other people coming and saying, oh, look, what a kind person. It's clear from their actions and from the way they speak to each other. And it's nice and it's funny and their romance makes sense.
You know which other drama did that really well, where it's like just the two people are just inherently good is, well, two other ones that come to mind. One is Crash Course and Romance, but the one that I was thinking about is My Sweet Mobster, where like you just get to know that these two are just very sweet. They're just like very good. And like it kind of just emanates into the people around them in a really nice way. Like you don't you kind of learn from their actions that that's who they are, and I just really like it. By the way,
The way they treat people.
you were right
Yeah.
about My Sweet Mobster because I got to episode like 10, and now like the big old mob boss is back, and I'm kind of like, are we gonna go into like some big crime backstory? Really, I'm just
Uh,
here for the cute romance. Oh, but once they get together, they're just. I love they're like
the hair blowing.
they're finally getting together scene was like excellent. It's so funny. It's so good.
That is just I have genuinely enjoyed My Sweet Mobsters so much. And like the final leg of the drama does get a bit slow, especially because it shifts away from the romance and more towards the hero's backstory. So, basically you have the female lead taking a backseat through that, and that was not a good idea, writing wise, because their dynamic together was what was
The best
most
part
fun
of the
to
show.
watch.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Their
So,
dynamic
yeah.
together, and then like his ducklings that live in his house, like,
Aw,
and then
yeah.
their dynamic with her also, like the
Yeah.
one guy who's always calling her little rat, and like in the beginning it's like a slur, and by the end it's like a term of affection. Because he's like falls in love with her, and he's like, but he's still calling her little rat, but now it's like
Yeah.
a pet
No,
name.
no. Sorry, this is slightly. I mean, it is related. So you know how the secondary couple have like that hotel night, when night in the hotel, they sort of like
In My
they're
Sweet
hanging out.
Lobster?
Yeah, and then it starts raining, and then they basically go and sleep together.
I'll be
in a
honest,
motel.
I could not care less about them. Like,
No,
I
I
was
couldn't either.
fast-forwarding through
But
all their
listen.
scenes.
A couple of weeks back, a feature came out on Korean Times about how people are disturbed by the proliferation of like one night stands in K dramas and are demanding broadcast rules to prevent that. I don't know who these people are.
Proliferation? That seems like kind of an over-exaggeration.
Also,
If anything, there are less of those now than there were like in the mid-2000s. There were
Yeah,
a lot
way
back
less.
then. A lot of
And-
shotgun weddings, a lot of like, accidental babies. Like that was happening a lot in the mid-2000s.
But that's also not accidental, as in like the fact that it's happening less now. It's because they brought in a lot of broadcasting rules that made it very difficult to have
Yeah,
this
well,
kind of
The
stuff.
broadcasting standards got a lot stricter when Park Geun-hye came in, during her presidency. That
Yeah.
conservative government was really like. Do you remember like Secret Garden got dinged for how many
I
kisses were in the
do.
last episode? Yeah. So it's
It's-
changed. It's been changed for a while. It has been changing for a while.
It's been changing for a while, and since they have continued on with a conservative government, it's just the stuff that they keep talking about bringing in is wild. Anyway, so we know that Korea Times, I think, is very much on the conservative bent. So their editorials are hilarious to read sometimes. They don't exactly put it as an editorial, they put it as like a news piece. It's not. They're not citing any actual statistics. It's just an opinion piece, written as if it's like a news. I just found that so hilarious. People are disturbed. Okay. So yeah, no gain, no love. I'm enjoying that so much. I wish she had watched more than half an hour so I could spoil more.
Yeah, I wanted to watch more of it before this, but it's just been a really busy week, and then I came down with some kind of flu like 3 days ago, so I've just
yeah.
been watching YouTube videos because that's all and Love Next Door. That's all my brain can handle.
Yeah.
I will say Love Next Door is a great thing to watch when you're sick. It's like a very like comfort drama vibes because you
It
don't have to
is.
think too much. It's not emotionally challenging. It's like homey. It's cozy. So
Yeah. See,
I'm
all of
still
the
gonna
things that I
continue watching it.
complained about are things that make it a really good watch when you're like not feeling on top of things. Like, have it on the background. Every time you look and you see their faces, you just feel happy.
Also, like, there's this one part where they go to like this woman who makes the clay containers that you put put doenjang and like gochujang and
Yeah.
stuff to like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ferment. and she's
Yeah.
like this famous artist who makes those, but she also like ferments the pastes in there. And they just like go to her farm and they prepare the food and then they make like
Yeah.
kalguksu and they eat it, and it's just so nice. It's just like so relaxing, like the slice of life vibes were like this
I agree.
beautiful.
I
They were
enjoyed that.
eating. I was like, this is great. So
Yeah. No.
to each
Okay.
their own.
Again, Anisa, I am still watching this. It's not like I have dropped it. It's
Oh,
not
really? You're
DNF
still watching
material.
this?
I'm
You're
on
so
episode
angry.
5. How do you think I got there?
I'm just surprised. Just drop it and
I
be happier.
See, that's not how viewing works for me. I will watch it till I'm bored. That's pretty much it. For me, having Jung So Min and Jung Hee In on my screen doing anything at all is interesting to watch.
Every scene they're in together is just like you gotta be glued to the screen. They just have such great
Yeah.
chemistry.
They have great chemistry. They individually they can keep me glued to the screen. So one of the best production decisions like this drama has made is making sure that these two are on my screen like 90% of the time. I approve. If it was not this way, if they were just on 50% of the time, I would have had a hard time watching this.
No, it's really their relationship is really the heart of the drama. Even like to the detriment of their so-called third best friend, who almost seems like a third wheel. Like they're supposed to all be besties, but I'm like, she's clearly on the outside. Like they are so much closer to each other. I also really enjoy the fact that their bedrooms are like right across from each other, and like they can open their windows and like look into each other's rooms.
That is how it should be.
Yeah,
Like if
it's
if
very
it's a childhood
Taylor
romance.
Swift, "You Belong with Me" music video.
No, but also every good childhood to adult romance, they always have bedrooms facing each other. That is like a mandatory thing. You have to have it that way. Otherwise, how will they have like midnight communications?
Yeah,
Phone,
I mean, it's a
that's not
trope
fun.
for a reason, right? Like, I think like all the tropes are just working on me this time, and I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, just try your best to like shut. If you're a writer, shut your writer brain down because that makes watching this hard. Are we watching anything else, Anisa? Like, are you watching anything else?
Yeah, I'm still like slowly watching My Sweet Mobster. I had like a lot of family in town the last couple of weeks, so I haven't had as much time. But yeah, I want to start Cinderella at 2 a.m. after hearing Saya's high recommendation on the podcast. Check that out. We talked about it on the podcast. If you haven't. And yeah, I'm gonna continue watching this. I'm gonna keep watching No Gay No Love. I did start Romance in the House. I think I watched like one episode, but I didn't really get to the meat of the story yet, so I feel like I can't talk about it yet. I know you're watching that too, right?
Okay, so two things about Romance in the House. I'm enjoying it, but it's one of those dramas which I'm okay to like drop for a few weeks and then come back. I don't have that urge to watch week on week. So I think I'm like again 5 episodes in right now, and I think the drama is probably at like 8 or 9 episodes at this point.
Oh no, I just remembered something that I dropped, but I'll talk about it after you're done.
Okay. I was having so much fun with. As soon as the dad comes into the picture, the way they position the daughter and the dad as rivals for the mother's affection was something that really worked for me. So you might not have reached that part as yet.
I have. So
but-
like where I've gotten is like, it's the dad, but he's a shadowy figure and you're like watching him from behind. So like I know it's him, but like we haven't actually like hit that. Like they haven't hit each other yet, like the revelation hasn't come.
But also, just as we expected, Anisa, the mom and dad's romance is like the center, the heart of the story here.
Okay,
like, yes,
nice.
Younger generation is supposed to be like the actual romantic pair, but they're so very much like they are colleagues in the same company who kind of like each other and know each other's secrets at this point. And not like the romantic build-up that hasn't really been that strong where I am.
Plus,
I like
the older actors are just like they're so. I'm gonna just stop sharing my screen. The older actors are just such powerhouses of talent. Like I just feel like when you put them side by side, like how can you, it's just
I
can't live up to that charisma and acting talent.
They have so much chemistry. Oh my god!
Ooh, I want, and that's how that makes me happy to hear.
Yeah, listen, the dad is this. He's hot, so and they fully use that. They made him this interesting combination of hot and kind of dumb, but also very determined and sometimes intelligent.
So he's like,
And
I just see himbo, right?
yeah, kind of
Yeah.
Adashimbo. It's
I
funny.
mean, Jijin, he is just he's so good.
He is so good,
And Kim Jisoo as well, the mom. Like both of them are
Kim-
just such great actors.
and also because they have a history. Like mom is like, yes, he's very pretty, but I know what's behind all of that prettiness. So she is like, I love their dynamic so much. I'm enjoying just their
Okay.
developing romance a lot. There are other mystery. There is other mystery that's happening that we will find out if I keep watching, which I intend to. But like as soon as No Gain No Love came out, I kind of lost steam for anything else. Like I was planning on starting a couple of other dramas. But
There's
yeah.
another one that started recently that had a pairing that was like very intriguing to me, and then I just like forgot it. But there's just like so much stuff that came out in August where it was like actors that I was really interested in and like premises that I was like, I'm intrigued, and I just have been it's like I can't keep up. The thing that I dropped, so I talked about this not in the last episode, but the episode before of Dramas Over Flowers, the podcast, the Jeju drama.
Which one?
The one where he's like completely depressed and his family is horrifying and abusive and like they treat him
Yeah.
horribly. He's like the black sheep, and then he's so upset and depressed, and then he has like an accident, which is really not an accident. He's like just wants to he's done. So then his like the golden child, his brother, says yes to this like extremely invasive experimental surgery where they erase all of the bad memories from his mind.
Bad memory eraser. That's
Yes,
the drama.
bad memory eraser. That's the drama. And then his doctor, who is also the love interest, does this extremely sketchy surgery. He's like the first human subject. The first one was on a mouse, and they're like, "Oh, it succeeded. He's our first test subject." How do you know? It's a mouse. It can't tell you if it forgot all of its bad memories. It's a mouse. So then they're like, they have like a very rushed and horrible like ethics, check in about it, and they're like, yeah, this is fine. Just do the human experimentation on this guy. Like, do the brain surgery. You don't know anything about him. He just came in after. It's terrible. It's terrible. And she's like lying to. He thinks that she's his first love. She's like, yeah, I'm definitely your first love, because like, what if she says no and it doesn't work, and then she's gonna lose all of her research funding, and she can't get famous and rich off of this horrible idea for like therapy. Anyway, but I was watching it because Jaejung is amazing. He's very charismatic. I was on the journey with him. He was wearing great suits. He was very funny. But I got to a point in like episode 4 or 5 where I just like couldn't take it anymore. Like it was just so. I was like, this woman belongs in jail. His family looks like they're going to be redeemed. They don't deserve to be redeemed. I don't want them to end up together. Like it was just bad for so many reasons.
Gaz is like, are you sure this is not a Taiwanese drama?
But I mean, he had some great moments, traveling around in nice suits with flower petals blowing in the wind. So, if you can find someone to make you some edits of like just Jaejung being awesome, I would watch that. But we should.
Did you drop it or did
I dropped
you...
it. Yeah, it's just like
Okay.
it's just the writing is just horrifyingly bad.
Painful.
Also, the female lead is also kind of a charisma black hole. I feel like the last time I saw her was
Jin
she was-
Se-young.
yeah, she was in
Yeah.
Gakshita, Bridal Mask. She's just
I didn't love her there.
she lacks.
She was also in Born
anything.
Again.
Anyway, so I dropped that. I had a lot of fun roasting it on Twitter. If you want to check out our Twitter account, I posted my thoughts on there in more detail. But we should probably wrap up, right? We ran a little longer
Yeah.
than we said we would. But thanks for joining us. We had fun. Hope y'all had fun too. We're gonna try to make this a weekly regular thing. So sometimes Thursdays, sometimes Fridays.
Yeah, we're still working out the timing is probably going to keep shifting because like 3 of us, Sayana, Anisa, and I are on 3 different time zones with like 4 to 6 hours difference.
Yeah, not
between the
even
three
like
of us
close
and-
time zones. We're literally on like 3 different continents, so it's very hard to even like find a time to record. So live
Yeah.
streaming is definitely going to be a journey, but like we're committed
we'll
to
figure
it.
it out, and we will post about it on Twitter like a few hours early, and it's fine. Like, if you guys want to watch, the replay is going to be here, so it's just, it's cool. We want to try and do this. Because we need to get used to how to live stream. We think that might be a skill worth developing.
Yes. And also, if
Okay.
there's like something that you would enjoy us live streaming about, definitely send us topic ideas. We would love some ideas.
Also, well, we should probably say this here. We have an anniversary live stream coming up. We have a topic in mind for that. Should we tell them what the topic is?
Sure.
Okay. It's not like a huge secret. It's drama reunions, where you have actors reuniting years after they did something together, or I suppose even like directors and writers reuniting, just like reunions of people who have worked together and it worked. And yeah, we're going to be talking about that during our anniversary live stream, and we haven't quite decided when it's going to be, but probably...
I think it'll be the 15th, most likely.
Oh, okay.
Sunday
Okay,
the 15th. We'll share details about it once we've like hammered down the time and stuff.
Yes, we will.
7
Right.
years. Can you believe it?
Yes.
7 years. Okay. Thanks everybody. It was fun.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.